So I'm just thinking to myself, just trying to pass time here, and you know, um, mm, you know, I have, this is like one of those things. I don't know what the fuck to say. That's stupid. I guess something that would be no, hell no. This would be something like, oh, we just want to extract intel from you. We want to see how low we can go, and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is just my observation. So I'm thinking to myself, how low you always can. How low can you go? You always can go lower than you've gone. You can go lower. So it's like a forgery to even try to explain how low can you go, because when you think you can't go any lower, or you explain how low you've gone, you go lower than that. You know what I mean? It's not your fault. It's like your artificial intelligent assistant's fault. That's like how your thing, your earbuds, your phone, your stuff like that. That's how it's not entirely your fault. Like you're not like the mastermind behind it. It's like you just use the technology to claim it's yours. So it's kind of like fraud and forgery at the same time. Is how low you go. For example, you say, "Oh, do this, do this." You don't want to be affiliated with that, or you don't want to say, "This was you did this" or something like that. Frame or whatever. Um, say, okay, well, so you say, "Oh, you sell it for $1, you don't believe in God," and stuff like that. You sell it for $1, you don't believe in God or whatever. And I'm like, you said that too. You're saying that too. So you're going even lower. You're adding a little more, a little more, more of a terrorizing thought. You're adding more like threatening thoughts, like, oh, well, this is more negativity to it to make you further. It's when you feel anger, like when someone feels angry, they get nervous, something like that. And not so much angry, but upset. But angry because you try to make them angry, so it just makes you upset. But it makes you angry to think that you tried to make him angry, like myself. So it's like, oh, and then like you observe, oh, all the new atmospheric pressures around and stuff like that. I don't have any neighbors, so so all the atmospheric pressures around and stuff like that. And, what we want is to do this and this. We know your password to this and this. Where you're overexposed, you're isolated, you're depleted. But so you go lower than that. You go even lower than that for that reason. For that reason, you're so depleted, you go lower than that. And this is what you do for the dollar, for whatever currency it is that you're going after. This is what you do for the dollar, and you turn around and give no and take no accountability for yourself and say, oh no, this is what you do. Turn it around and and rhetorically say, this is what you do. So you turn around and blame it on the. I mean, it's like you wonder why cancer exists, right? You wonder why cancer exists, and then like say, oh, well, because we're trying to eradicate cancer, we're trying to curb aggression at the same time. Like in that movie Legend, right? That if you eradicate cancer, you're just gonna have aggression everywhere. So, so the forgery and the fraud that you go through and it's going on and stuff, and say, oh, these specific characteristics we look for in a person because our economic system thrives on this. But we don't. We refuse to acknowledge that. By the way, and by the way, oh, we need to do identification verification. You know what I mean? And you accept that. That's one thing you accept as a social flaw, in this society, is like what is in your identification verification. You accept that as a social flaw. So everything turn around, and I'm not gonna sit up here and try to soften the blow of the next time you say, oh, you know, oh, I used to work in customer service, sir. I mean, so or you get lower than that and say, oh well, oh well, you see what we go through, yeah, but you're making like however millions of dollars a year or whatever it is that you however you make your money. Or someone like me is making 12 something, 78 an hour, and still is supposed to say, well, I'm just unemployed, but at this time, you have to stay in the threshold of the currency. So I find that little. I can't find a specific word for it. Grading, ridicule, mockery, insult. Just downright this assault battery mentally. I mean, like, oh, all you do is the mental. Well, I can't find a word for it. That's the thing. It's all like it's a law, but I'm not sure exactly what. I can't. Because they hide that away from you. Oh, you have to pay legal fees. Oh, well, no, we're not going to do this pro bono. Oh, we're not going to do this, or whatever that means, right? I don't know what that means. All this junk. And say, oh, the universe is so noisy and stuff like that, but it's really just it's all quiet. It's just noise around here, but it's so noisy down here. It's quiet up there. So the universe has gotten quieter, but there's still a lot of static down here at the center of gravity, or whatever you call it, science. And it's type, and so that's all you said. I'm trying to say, oh well, this is pending as. Well, whatever. I mean, you just you forge it on even further. You're like, oh, we'll take this AI even further. We'll take this AI even further. And focused on this because we're integrating witchcraft, finance, government, and IT, and we're integrating that for the future. And guess what? We're doing the same old bread and butter ways that we've been doing things since Greek mythology or some type shit.